Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulullah ma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, coming to you live from Orangeville, Mano, up north. It was a beautiful drive. I'm just doing a wedding here and they're late, so I had to apologize and I'll have to come back with them after this beautiful lecture that I'm going to share with you, inshallah. May Allah bless you for your time and thank you for joining us again. May Allah protect you, family, health, and wealth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you the best of parents, and leave a legacy behind that will make dua for you till ever. According to hadith, when the human being dies, their actions and as they dies except of three. One of them, waladun salih yad'u lahu. It's the righteous child that would make dua for you. And sadaqah jariyah, ongoing charity, actually the best of sadaqah jariyah is your children that will do so. And ilmun yuntafa'u bihi, beneficial knowledge, which whatever you teach your children will also make that as an ongoing for you. So alhamdulillah, it's a win-win-win situation. That's why I tell the brothers and sisters, it's the best investment you can ever make in your life. Being a righteous child, a righteous parent, a righteous husband, a righteous wife, a righteous neighbor, a righteous everything. So with that, we'll talk about the second episode of The Art of Parenting, coming to you live on Muslim Do. This is your host, Brother Alaa. It's an honor for me to have you with me. Today, we're going to talk about the foundation. I know the first time we talked about why do you want to get married and what is the principles and how do you actually have your children raised and who was going to get married to be raised in the next Salahuddin and what is the definition of an orphan, all of these things, the principles. But today, we're going to put the main pillar of the righteous, of the parenting. And the best of them, inshallah, it comes in one word that is repeated over 200 times in the Quran, and it revolves around the family, it revolves around life, it revolves around hereafter, it revolves around the judgment day, it revolves about hell, it revolves about heaven. It's everything about it, and it's a whole mother of base and the principle that we have to understand why this word, this magic word, is extremely important for us if we ever want to be, even come close to being a successful parent. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara waquduha an-nas wal hijara. O you who believe, protect yourself and your family from a hellfire. The fuel is fire and stones. You know, the stones is basically, you know, what they used to worship. And they used to say, you know what, these are our gods. They're there with you. You know, this is عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يأمرون. They have angels, guardian, and they are harsh, they're severe, they don't disobey the command of Allah, they only do what they're commanded. So don't think that they're going to say on judgment day, so you know, Mr. Angel, you know, I have a wife and children, I have to look after them, can you please give me a second chance? They will not do that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you a first advice before you even think about it. It's talking about this life before the hereafter. So he's telling you, protect yourself. It's a severe warning, it's a heads up, it's a free lesson. And only hal min muddakir, where are those who ponder and reflect about the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he's telling you, protect yourself. Ya ayyuha qu anfusakum. So understand this. If you fly, my brothers and sisters, you'll know that even air stewardess will tell you that, you know, if in case of a drop, the oxygen mask will come, put it on yourself first. Didn't tell you to put it on your children first, put it on yourself first, because if you don't protect yourself, you can't protect others. It's exactly the same idea, my brothers and sisters. Ya qu anfusakum wa ahlikum. First, you have to protect yourself, and I will tell you how to protect yourself and your children after, inshallah, and your family, including your spouse. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nas, ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa batha minhuma rijalan kathira wa nisaa wattaqu Allah alladhi tasaaluna bihi wal arham inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba. Subhanallah. Look at this beautiful ayah, exactly what we're talking about today. O you who believe, in the first one, begins, it's a conditional because a command is coming. But Allah is talking to humanity at large at this point. Ya ayyuhan nas ittaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. He's telling you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you from what? Nafsun wahida, Adam alayhi salam. وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء, and from it, whether it's the soul or the rib of Adam, it's not going to go into the fiqh issue at this point. The stronger opinion comes from the soul. Now, no matter what, we'll talk about taqwa for now. I'm not going to go into jidal, you know, fiqh issues at this point. So it says, and from it, we created you, the spouse, your partner, and from both of them, we have created plethora, many of men and women, and so on and so forth. This is then he repeats the word again, and be conscious of Allah, that the one that will hold you accountable on judgment day with the arham, with the wombs that come together today. When you say I do to her parent, when you have this wife under your belt now and you're responsible for her, in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as an amana. So please understand the foundation is there. My brother and sister, and I tell you why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds Adam accountable, not Eve. It says, Uskun anta wa zawjuka al-jannah. You understand? You dwell therein, O Adam. وَعَصَى آدَمُ رَبَّهُ فَغَوَى. It was Adam that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala held accountable because you're the one who goes to ask for her hand in marriage, my brother. She doesn't come and ask for your hand unless you're that lucky and you're that good looking. The girls will fight you over you. May Allah help you. But however, whatever it takes, please understand that that's basically the word taqwa again. Talk about this life, talk about the marriage, talk about the hereafter when you're going to be held accountable for the oath you've taken, for the marriage when you have a spouse under your belt, inshallah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about وَلْيَخْشَى الَّذِينَ لَوْ تَرَكُوا مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّةً ضَعَافًا خَافُوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلْيَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. 2 down payments. If you fearfully lineage, a weak lineage after you're gone, that you're going to lose their faith, they're going to lose their identity, they're going to lose their Islam, they're going to lose their religion, they're going to lose their dunya, they're going to lose the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you fear for your progeny to be weak after you're gone, what did he say? 2 foundations, Swiss bank account and private jet, or insurance policy, or anything like that? No. He says, فَلْيَتَّقُوا. And the word فَلْيَتَّقُوا here, fast called فَا تَعْقِيب, meaning right away. Lam amran talab, command and request. And waw jamari and istimrari, it's ongoing and it's in a congregation. So you're not going to be on your own. Because when he says, كَانَ فِي مَعْزَلٍ يَا أَبَتْ, when even Nuh alayhi salam was talking to his son, he says, يَا بُنَيْ ارْكَبْ مَعَنَا. He said, no, I'll go to Jabal Ya'ween. There's nobody will protect you from the command of Allah today. But what was it? It's kind of fi ma'zal. Ma'zal, he was on his own. There's no righteous company. There's no righteous environment. So understand the link when everything else comes together, and that's exactly what he's doing. فَلْيَتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. You have to have conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say the right words, enjoining good or forbid evil, depending on the difference of opinion of the scholars. So please understand that. يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسِ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ again أَتْقَاكُمْ. Oh human beings, oh humanity, we have created from a male and female, meaning Adam and Eve, like we talked about. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. We made you to nations and tribes so you may know one another. What is the down payment again? What is the most noble in sight of Allah? Is it the one that uses fair and lovely? Is it the richest? Is it the whitest? Is it the strongest? Is it the... No. It says, Atqakum, the one who has taqwa. That is the most noble in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Nisa'akum harthun lakum, fa'atu harthakum anna shi'tum. وَقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّكُمْ مُلَاقُوهُ وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, your wife is a beautiful child. So when you look at your wife, you look at what? You look at a beautiful tree. That means you're a gardener. That means when you plant the seed, you have to plant it in a righteous environment, close to the masajid. The water is lawful source of income. The 2 sticks are Quran and Sunnah. Trim the branches with your akhlaq, your character. You have to have patience, see the fruit, and the fruit is your lineage till judgment day. It's going to be righteous. So please understand, my brothers, that example is extremely important to understand how important it is for you to be a good leader, how important it is to have taqwa, how important it is for you to plant the seed in the righteous environment and the righteous, with the righteous lawful source of income and the company you keep, and all of that. You have to be as a good role model and a good leader, an uswa for your children and your wife indeed. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa'alamu annakum mulaqu wa bashir mu'minin, again, when he says that, give the glad tidings to the believers, believing in the unseen, because he says on judgment day that you will meet me. Remember that oath that you've taken? Allah wa taqullah tasa'aluna bihi wal arham. The wombs will be held accountable. That you will not pass. The beneath you is the hellfire. The sirat, the bridge, is as sharp as a sword, dark as the darkest night, or the light, bright as the lightest day, wide as a valley. Depends on how you do, how you walk in this life. You will walk in the hereafter. My brothers and sisters, straight path here, straight path there. So please understand, it's what you do. You will reap what you've sown. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum wakhshaw yawman la yajzi walidun wa walidun wala mawludun anhu wa jazun an walidihi shay'a inna Allah wa'ada Allahi haqq. فلا يغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about, said, oh human beings, be conscious of Allah, that you will come to that day. No son will be able to protect their father. No father will be able to protect their children. No mother will look after them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, on that day you will be held accountable for what you've done. And inna wa'd Allah, in called tawqeed. Tawqeed meaning what? Sure, indeed, there's no doubt on judgment day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promise will be fulfilled. There is no doubt. So do not be deceived by allurement of this life. Gharur is shaitan, and don't be deceived by shaitan. And then he's reminding you again, فَلَا تَغُرَنَّكُمْ, do not be deceived by the allurement of life. Meaning what? Who is your Lord? أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهُ هَوَاهُ. What is your Lord? What is your whims and desires? Is it the money? Is it your boss? Is it your spouse? Is it children? Do you care where you get your money? Whether you bribe or you steal or unlawful sources, and where you live and all of that stuff for your job? You have to make sure that you do so. I'm going to leave you, my brothers and sisters, with an example, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you one word, and that's it for today, inshallah. Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, rahmatullahi alayhi, is the most knowledgeable of the tabi'in. He used to say, Wallahi, when I remember my son, I used to prolong my night prayer. Qiyamul layl, not niyamul layl, the late night prayer before Fajr. He says, because you learn taqwa from this, because no one sees you except Allah. So my brothers and sisters, if I leave you with one homework today, homework is Qiyamul layl. If you ever want to protect your children, be a good parent, Qiyamul layl. That's your key. That's how you learn taqwa, and that's the key we're talking about today. He says, every time I remember my son, I will prolong my night prayer. Put your forehead down to the ground. Ask Allah to protect you. Ask Allah to raise your children righteously. Make you leaders from the the pious ones. And I'll leave you with one word. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Kahf says, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. And your parents, those children Allah protected, they were righteous. And Ibn Kathir in the tafsir, he says, Sab'jad. He was a seventh grandfather, subhanAllah. Can you imagine? And that's where I'm going to leave you, inshallah. May Allah protect you, family, health, and wealth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the best of parents, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our lineage till we taste together in Jannah, like a Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi used to say about the ayat that we'll talk about some other time, inshallah. Jazakumullah anna khaira for having me and coming to your home. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you for your time and effort, and thank you for joining us. Subhanak Allahumma hamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu.